All right, maybe this will work better for my phone. That's what we're going to try here. Hope you guys are good. Hope I can still figure out how to work this and navigate from my phone while I'm on the freeway. But, it's traffic. I'm not moving, basically. Chat, if you're in here, let me know. I didn't realize I was talking to myself for probably a while there, at least 5 minutes after my feed went out. But I was trying to play hotspot to the computer, to the laptop. Probably be better if I just, I don't know, did it like this instead with my phone. I'm on the 5. And I got a very long trip coming up. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if this works. Can you hear me? Holla if you hear me. We hear, says Juan. All right, people coming back in. I apologize. I should just do it from my phone. I don't know what I was thinking, using my phone as the hotspot, going to the laptop. Very unnecessary. I could just do this instead. We are here. Appreciate you guys. Keep me company. Can you hear is the question. Clippers win 114-110, their best victory of the season in Memphis earlier. And I reviewed all the post-game audio. And Ivica Zubac talked about how it's been a brotherhood with them, how all he's ever wanted is for the guys to believe in him and to feature him, which is pretty cool. Those guys are trusting him. And Coach Lou, post-game, also talked about what a game Big Zoo had. KPJ getting some assists early on when he came into the ball game. I do think that was KPJ letting the game come to him and getting others involved before just going into ISO mode and looking for his own. That's a step in the right direction, honestly. That matters to me. I thought it was his most impactful game of the season. Defensively, Kevin Porter Jr. had great possessions against Ja Morant, guys. It wasn't just Chris Dunn. It wasn't just Derrick Jones Jr. or Nico Batum or the usuals Amir Coffey against Chris Dunn. KPJ had a lot of possessions guarding Chris Dunn. But Ivica Zubac just bodied the Memphis Grizzlies front line. And not only did he body the Memphis Grizzlies, he bodied Zoo haters. There was a guy on the post game on AM 570 afterwards named Triple J in the chat. He's a listener here. And he got dunked on a little bit. Just like Zoo dunked on Jaren Jackson Jr., I had to dunk on Triple J afterwards too. Here's the thing. They put up a stat on the TV that was showing his last 6 games heading into the game tonight. How he had been averaging 15 points while shooting 48% from the field and 41% from 3. Well, the one thing they didn't show on that TV graphic on, what is it, FanDuel TV now, formerly Bally, formerly Fox Sports, Prime Ticket. What they didn't show was in those 6 games, even though the numbers were good, the traditional numbers were good, KPJ was a minus 37 in those 6 games where he was getting 15 points, 48% shooting, 41% from 3. So how impactful were those stats to winning? If you're losing his minutes consistently, and in about 550 minutes so far this season, he's like a minus 30 out there, that's not good. That's not a good sign. That stuff matters. Turns out, winning minutes when you're on the court is kind of the name of the game. Are you winning your minutes? Now, there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of variables. It's not just KPJ out there. It's not a one-on-one game. There's 4 other guys next to him. If somebody else is having a poor defensive night and his man goes off and you happen to be on the court when that guy goes off and rattles off 10 straight and it wasn't your fault, that still goes against your plus minus. But over a 500-minute sample size, it becomes much more reliable. For instance, you look at the plus minus with guys with the Clippers this season. The top guys are all the best players. They're all the most impactful players to winning. Chris Dunn has the number one plus minus on the Clippers. Zubats is up there. James Harden's up there. Nico's up there. Like, it's all the usual guys you would expect. Derrick Jones Jr., Amir, the guys who play winning basketball. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Joss. That's awful. Condolences. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, but I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't know how to transition away from that. Clipper Nation has your back. Clipper Nation cares if nobody else cares. I hope you are surrounded by loved ones and being comforted right now. Really sorry to hear that. This is a show, obviously, talking Clippers post-game, and I will try to help distract you. Maybe that's what you're looking for right now. So it's something where I'm not being a hater of KPJ. I've actually been the guy after the second preseason game against the Brooklyn Nets in San Diego where he went off a little bit. And I put out a tweet saying I think at some point he's going to be the starting two, or he's going to start at the two. It was kind of a hot take. I've been rooting for him. I want KPJ to play better. I just have been watching in all these games where he does score points, they're still losing those minutes. Tonight he ended up being a +1. That's great. And I thought he had his most impactful game because he played within himself more, even while still having down moments, like the last shot he took before he was taken out of the game, a tough step-back jumper over Desmond Bane that didn't go, and the Clippers took him out immediately. Or like when he had that bad turnover on the right wing in the first half, where he just put the ball through his legs and into the first row. Like, it has been up and down. It's been a roller coaster. I see the vision. I see what they're chasing. I get it. And he's the best option they have. They're not going to play Bones, apparently, so they have to have another guy who can create out there and be a ball handler in the second unit. If you can bottle up the good stuff he does and just get him doing that on a more consistent basis, that's it right there. Can you scale up the good stuff that he does? Oh, I like this from Clipper Nation, saying a prayer for Josh Scott, who apparently lost his father. Gotta be there for people. Yeah, I'm not stopping. And, you guys are keeping me, I'm in traffic right now, and this is basically having a phone conversation. I don't see it any differently than if I was talking to somebody on the phone, which is fine. So what's the difference between that and talking to you guys in the chat? It's not any more distracting, and it's going to be a late night for me, and this actually keeps my brain functioning at as high of a level as it can on a long drive. This helps too. Bang! Bang energy drink. I agree. I think it's safe to say at this point, I've been saying this for a while, and we're still 30 games in, but we're going to have a dialogue at the end of this season. And I think I'm going to be on the right side of history for saying that Norman Powell, this current version of Norman Powell, is better than the current version of Paul George. The scoring appetite that Norman Powell has and the consistency with getting up shots and not fading into the background like Paul George would do and has done, the variance in play from Paul George and how many points he's getting that night is just it's up and down. It's very inconsistent. He's one of the most inconsistent stars I've ever seen. And he's older. He's 34. Norm's 31. Has a ton of bounce, a ton of juice, a quick first step, and it's just somebody that is meeting the moment right now as he's given this big opportunity. He and Ivica Zubac right at that intersection of preparation meeting opportunity, and they're taking advantage of these minutes. Zoo played 40 minutes tonight, guys, on a hurt calf. But the good news is, post-game I learned the calf injury, it's a contusion, it's a bruise, it's not a strain. He got kicked in the calf. There's a difference. He couldn't worsen it by playing through it. So that's why he wanted to go. He knew the team needed him. Boy, did they. There's no way they win this game without him. And he destroyed the front line of the Memphis Grizzlies. And he said something post-game that I said post-game. I didn't hear him say it. I said it right away. I said it during the game, too. That injury made him focus more, and it turned into a great performance. I think one of the top 3 performances of his young career in Ivica Zubac tonight. He said those words exactly. It had made him focus more. So I was kind of happy that me and Zoo were on the same page there. I got it on tape. I'll show you. I'll keep that receipt. Mo Bamba has been struggling. If there's a negative, Mo Bamba over the last 2 weeks has really struggled. But as Chuck Mockler's brought up, it's like the first stint he has in the game, he's just slow to get up and get engaged in the ball game. The activity level isn't there. I don't know. He needs to start faster because the second stint he's been getting in games, he's been better in. Have you guys noticed that too? We've been talking about it a little bit. There's something to that. But overall, he has not been as good as he was when he first came back from that knee injury. His first games as a Clipper, where he was moving really well. I hope the knee swelling hasn't returned. I hope it's not injury related, his performances lately. KPJ just had his best game of the season, Goku. His most impactful game. A game where he had his fingerprints on them winning. Because I'm here to tell you, the stat that they put up on FanDuel TV during the Clippers game of him averaging 15 points the last 6 games, 48% from the field, 41% from 3, great. He's also a minus 37 in those 6 games. Like, how much did that contribute to winning? If you're not winning your minutes, sure, maybe it was somebody else that was out there on the court that was taking those minutes every single time. But the most logical person, like, I looked at other people's plus minuses over the last 6 games or over those span of games, and plenty of other guys. Like, Nico is not always in the best lineups, but Nico continues to win his minutes. I think he has the second or third best plus minus on the team this season. Even though he's playing less minutes, whenever he plays, he's winning his minutes. I know tonight he ended up like a -2, but, I resist using a 1-game sample size and extrapolating a lot from the plus minus there. But over 6, 10, 500 minutes played, over 6 or 10 games or 500 minutes played, that's where we're at with KPJ so far this season. I just don't know if his style is conducive to winning basketball this time, a.k.a. winning your minutes out there. But do they have a better option? Probably not. They're not going to play Bones. Batum Battalion is well alive. His plus minus is through the roof. Batum is doing the same stuff that he's always done and hit 2 big threes tonight. Batum is good, guys. The defense is still there. Like, I'm hyped. I watched him in France this past year. Guys, he played the most minutes on that team during the Olympics for France and was guarding really tough matchups like SGA and Dennis Schroeder out there. Batum is still him. Like, preserve him as much as possible because in the playoffs, I want you to unleash Batum. And I think there's your answer. Everybody's talking about, we need a 4, we need a 4. They're one of the best rebounding teams out there. They're one of the best defenses out there. I think it's proven at this point they don't necessarily need a 4. I think what they need, I'm not saying they couldn't use someone that can play stretch 4 and small ball 5. It's just really hard to find those guys. It's unlikely they're going to be able to get one that fills the criteria for what they need. But I am saying the real need that has flown under the radar, I think, is for a more stable backup ball handler. That's what they need. I'm not giving up on KPJ. And tonight, build off of this. Have another good game where you play within yourself and play more team basketball. Guys, his defense tonight was stellar. KPJ's defense, I know he only got credited with 2 steals, but he was getting deflections. He was on Ja Morant. Does anybody have the matchup data on what Ja Morant shot against KPJ, what he shot against Chris Dunn, what he shot against Derrick Jones Jr. from the Sport VU cameras? I'd love to see it. David says, awesome for this talk after dark. Had to watch the game on replay after work. Yeah, if you missed the post-game show afterwards with Carlo Jimenez, we took a lot of calls, and Quentin was in here doing Quentin-like things, saying Ivica Zubac is overrated, and oh, God. Maybe Quentin is a troll or a plant or something. A rage baiter. All-Star Harden is still there. No, it does not mean he was a plus before these last couple of games. He just went +1 the last game. I don't think he's minus 37 on the season. I'm not sure that includes tonight's game yet, because I think that's what it was when I saw it last night, or maybe it was a minus 38 and he went +1 tonight, so now it's minus 37 on the season for KPJ. But I know what they want to get out of him. I know what the vision is, and I get why they're going to him. I just need more consistency. I need more games like tonight. Because even in a game like this, oh, dead deer. Even in a game like this, where am I, the Grapevine? He still had some really low moments, like the last play he was out there for, where he took a bad, tough, well-contested jumper against Desmond Bane, and then Bane comes back and hits a 3 on the other end. That's his man. That's the problem. Even when KPJ is having good games, he is prone to those type of lapses. He was going under screens against Anthony Edwards, I remember, the last game, or both games, against Minnesota. Or did he not play in one of them? At least one of the games against Minnesota, I think it must have been the close game, the first game. Yeah, then he got hurt at the very end of that game. He was going under screens against Anthony Edwards, who's been shooting over 40% from 3 on the season. He was letting him walk into threes on high ball screens. You can't go under a screen against him. It's just those mental lapses. Like, he has to be better consistently on a veteran team like this. For me to trust him in high leverage situations, that's the stuff I need to see more often. I'm not giving up on him, though, at all. And I think I'm being fair with the analysis. Again, I was the one who went out on a limb and was like, oh, I've seen enough in the preseason. He's going to end up the starting 2 guard at some point this year. So far, I'm looking wrong there, but they're not going away from him. That's right, sicko mode. Appreciate you guys in here. This is fun. This will keep me awake, keeping the wheels turning up here, and obviously with the vehicle. Clipper Nation has my back. Chunk thinks we're getting Colin Sexton. I would love Colin Sexton, guys. You look at Colin Sexton. The only reason Colin Sexton hasn't had a bigger role or more notoriety, first of all, he did his ACL in Cleveland when he was one of the guys, and then they make a trade for Donovan Mitchell. They upgraded, obviously. Now he's, living in squalor or whatever in a forgotten barren land in Utah for a team that's going for Cooper Flag, and they have not played well. I can't believe how bad they are defensively, the Utah Jazz. So all his numbers are going to be bad because it's affected by the team. But I contacted my source for Colin Sexton. I got a guy who's a hardcore Cleveland Cavaliers fan, Bob Schmidt. He does the promos, the intros. You hear him on Fox Sports Radio. He does the Fear the Fro podcast. He's the voice of AM 570 LA Sports. So all the production work when you're listening to Clippers talk, and he says, Adam Osland, or like the AI Adam that I play for you guys, that promo with AI Adam, that's done by Bob Schmidt. He put all that together. He's got the most beautiful voice in the world. Anyways, long-time, long-suffering Cleveland Cavaliers fan, I guess, until they won in 2016. So he knew Colin Sexton really well. And I'm like, how bad is Colin Sexton defensively? Because he's only 6'3". He's on the smaller side. He's really quick. But he described him as a try-hard guy. He has limitations because of his size, but not because of his effort. And then you look at his efficiency numbers. Guys, look at Colin Sexton's efficiency over the years. He is a bucket. And he would help them so much be able to play at a different speed. Like tonight is kind of a revelation. They beat Memphis playing fast. They outscored them in fast break points. They turned Memphis's turnovers into 31 points. I think like Memphis had around 17 turnovers, and they turned it into like 31 points. I'm not pulling up the box score. I'm trying to be safe here. And I'm stuck in traffic. Yeah, Ainge will want a lot for him. Yeah, maybe there's bad habits with KPJ, and he has to be deprogrammed, you could say, because he's built up so many bad habits playing on a bad team, 2 bad teams. He's in Cleveland too. And he's got to get some new skin or get reskinned, if you think of it in video game terms, and become a different player. Now, the other side of that is he's a part of why those teams were so bad, and it could be his style of play that has nothing to do with just the guys around him. It could just be this is who he is as a player. We don't know. So there's an unknown there, and that's why I think the Clippers see the potential, the talent. They're trying to tap in and see what he can do. And I think he keeps doing just enough good things to stay in the rotation. But if they made a move for Colin Sexton, I don't know if there's a difference between how the coaching staff thinks of KPJ versus how the front office thinks of KPJ. Obviously, in the past, they weren't on the same page with Russell Westbrook. Clearly. And KPJ has a lot of erratic, inconsistent play in him. Yeah, a bunch of Cavs fans. Yeah, the Cavs fans like Colin Sexton. They had no issue with him, but they got Donovan Mitchell, so you can't really complain with that trade. I'm not giving up a first for Colin Sexton, guys. If they do it, cool. But they have one more first-round pick. You don't give up any more assets. Do I have to say this every show? Do I have to start every show with this? Until we see how Kawhi Leonard looks, they should not be giving up future assets. Because it doesn't matter if you get Colin Sexton. If Kawhi can't stay healthy, it doesn't matter if you get Jimmy Butler if Kawhi can't stay healthy. Zach LaVine, any of these guys. If you get them, but Kawhi can't stay healthy, you can't win a championship still. You have to see if Kawhi can stay on the court. Houston wasn't just bad because they were tanking. They were straight up dysfunctional. Guys, players on the court do not care about tanking. They don't. You can play the wrong, lineups and configure the rosters in a way that aren't conducive to winning. But the players who are out there do not care. Like, you think Jordan Clarkson, who has like 1 year left on his contract, is like, I can't wait for Cooper Flagg to get here and save us? Guys don't care about that. Players aren't, you know, when Kawhi talks about not looking for a savior out there on the court, it's not just him. Guys didn't get to this level because, you know, they're waiting for somebody else to come in and fly in and put the cape on. I genuinely do not think when the Utah Jazz go out there and play every night that players are thinking about, oh, I shouldn't play as well because we need to get Cooper Flagg. And the Houston Rockets weren't doing that either when KPJ was there. They were bad because they had a lot of young guys and a lot of guys with individual agendas. I'm not saying, look, I think there's an unknown aspect to who KPJ is as a player because of the situations he was in. But he has to prove that he is a winning player, and it was just those situations being that bad. And he hasn't proved that to me yet. The numbers say it. We're talking about 600 minutes now of play, and he's a minus on the floor. And that matches the eye test to me. So there's still a lot remains to be seen with Kevin Porter Jr. But tonight, his most impactful game, not his highest scoring game, not his most efficient game, his most impactful game. Like, some of y'all don't understand that. You could have a bad night. It's not. You could help a team win and go 5 for 14 like I think he did. Turns out. You could do other things. Like, far too many people do not understand that scoring does not necessarily always equal winning. It's not just about points. How are you doing defensively out there? Are you giving up more points or leading to your team giving up more points because you're bad on that end? KPJ was really good defensively tonight, I have to say. It was definitely his best defensive game. And offensively, he was getting others involved. He had some nice passes early on, and he wasn't just looking to get his. Now, at the very end, did he revert back to some of the bad KPJ stuff? Maybe, because that jumper over Bane, you can't take that shot. He took a couple open threes that he was wide open. I guess he had to take, but he's still not shooting it well there overall. I know recently he's been better, but Chris said if T-Man comes back with confidence, we don't need another guard. I thought when Mo would be better. Me too. He's been bad the last couple of weeks. I don't know about that. I don't know if the answer is Terrence Mann running the second unit with the basketball. I'm not against it because he has played point. I do like the comment though, Chris. What stretch big is realistic? You're thinking here. Guys, I'm not doing this thing where it's like, oh, we need to get this player so we can get over the top. No. The guy who is going to get you over the top is Kawhi Leonard. And if he can't stay healthy, you shouldn't be giving up any assets. So let's see if Kawhi can stay healthy. Let's see if he can get back on the court and then stay healthy. Then talk to me in February before the trade deadline about making a big move. Now, if they swindle a team, if they don't have to give up much for Colin Sexton, cool. But somebody in here said give up the first-round pick. It's like, no. Why would you do that? Like, I guess you could make the argument that Sexton is still young and that he can be a part of the future regardless of if you're winning a championship or going for it this year. I could see that. Okay. But I guess I'm speaking more broadly with people who have said, oh, we need to get this guy. This would put us over the top when Kawhi comes back. It's like, well, we need to see if Kawhi can stay back. So don't make a move to get a guy who's only going to help you if Kawhi Leonard is there too. Who's only going to get you over the top or help get you to the top if Kawhi Leonard is there, because we don't know if Kawhi is going to be able to stay healthy. I think that's how I'll put it. Yes, Houston had a lot of bad things going on. I don't see him as a natural point guard either, KBJ. Yeah, he had the blown aside. I talked about it right after that jumper that he missed against Bane. They get in transition. His man gets a three in Bane. That's why he got taken off the court right then. Coach Lou was awesome with his rotations tonight, by the way, guys. They went small. He didn't want to bring back Mo Bamba, it looked like, in the second half at one point. So they went small with Batum and Amir coming in. They didn't have a big on the floor. Then a couple minutes later, Mo Bamba came in for a second for maybe 5 possessions. Then Ivica Zubac came back in because he played 40 minutes. Yeah, I would. If they can't get the backup point guard, what I've been saying is my rotation is I have Mann and Chris Dunn running the second unit. Now, Chris Dunn, I want with the starters at the end of games too, but he's likely going to be coming off the bench when Kawhi comes back. And if you have Chris Dunn and you have Terrence Mann, I think that might be enough to man the, so to speak, ball handling duties. If you have Chris Dunn and Terrence Mann, is that enough to get the second unit into their offense? I don't know. But if you could get Colin Sexton, by all means, I'd love that. Not that he's like, the perfect traditional playmaker or something like that. He's a scorer. He's an offensive guy. He's a speed demon, but he can create. Yeah, Norman's not going to the bench, guys. And DJ's not going to the bench either. Because the thing with Derrick Jones Jr. is Derrick Jones Jr. can guard Triple J tonight like he did and guard John Morant. Chris Dunn can't guard Triple J. DJ was guarding Triple J. I said it yesterday on Clips and Dip when we did the preview for this. I was like, I think they're going to stick with DJ and see if they can just have him on Jaren Jackson Jr. And they did. And he was good. Look at what Triple J shot from the field. Dunn can't guard up like that. So for everybody's like, well, Dunn's the better defender. In certain matchups, yes. He's the ultimate defender against quicker, smaller guards. Maybe a little bit better than DJ there, although DJ is good there. But Derrick Jones Jr. is the more versatile defender that can guard more positions. He's going to stay in the starting lineup when Kawhi comes back. Chris Dunn's going to come off the bench. I'm pretty certain about that. You're not taking Norman Powell, who's averaging 25 points a game now, out of the starting lineup. I think DJ was still on a minutes restriction. I asked Lon Murray about that pregame if he would be. I think that's what it was. He's been holding his leg since the Dallas 2-game series. I mean, he went to the tunnel after his first stint against Dallas, and I thought he re-injured his hamstring and then came back out. So I'm not overly concerned. They got 3 days off. We'll see. I just don't know what big you're picking up. Who's the big you're getting, and who are you giving up? First of all, I still think Mo Bamba could be better in this because he has been better than what he has shown the last couple of weeks. But his inconsistency is well known, and that motor, it wanes. Okay, well, KPJ wasn't drafted as a point guard. I understand that, but I don't know if he's good enough to be a shooting guard. He was thought of maybe he can be a starting shooting guard in the league. Oh, he put 50 on Drew Holiday. I watched that game. The Bucks played miserable defense. He got some of his shots on Drew Holiday, and he got really hot from the outside. He hit 10 threes. Is he like that? Obviously not from 3. But it is trending in the right direction now. And his catch and shoot numbers were really good from 3 the last 2 years in Houston. So in that respect, him playing off ball does make some sense. Like, he shouldn't be taking off the bounce threes as much as catch and shoot threes at all. But there aren't other guys creating things in the second unit if you want to defend KPJ in that way. So he has to take those shots. There's nobody else going to do it. Norman's been defending well. He had some good possessions tonight. He took the Desmond Bain matchup personally. Those guys were going after it. The game got chippy. That moment where they gave Chris Dunn a technical on, who was it? Almada? For pushing him out of bounds. I said I saw more pushing and shoving and jingle all the way with Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. That was such a weak tech. I felt like that was partially given to Chris Dunn because of reputation, which I don't love because he's a chippy guy. No. His hamstring's not going to determine whether he goes to the bench. That has nothing to do with it. That will determine if he plays in the game. If Derrick Jones Jr. is available, guys, he's starting. He's more versatile of a defender than Chris Dunn. He can guard bigger guys and he can guard the small guys. That's what it is, I'm telling you. Dunn's point of attack defense is incredible, but he can't guard up the way DJ can, and DJ's point of attack defense is also pretty damn good. Bamba at the end of the season will be as good as any other minimum big. There are unrealistic expectations for backup bigs by, I think, this fan base and pretty much every fan base. There aren't that many great backup bigs in the league. There aren't that many standout stellar backup bigs. There just aren't. I think Mo Bamba can be serviceable. All I want is for him to be better than Mason Plumlee was last season. I'm getting Mason Plumlee vibes, though, recently from him. I thought he had some good moments early on. I wonder how much the three ball not falling for him is affecting his overall play and confidence. I'm going to throw that out there, guys, because he is a career 36% three-point shooter on over 700 attempts. He has had years where he has shot 39%, 40% on low volume, but he can't find a shooting stroke so far with the Clippers. I wonder how much that hurts his overall confidence in his game, maybe. And that's affecting him on other places on the court. It shouldn't. It shouldn't affect his defensive effort, his activity level, which has not been good enough to me so the last couple of weeks. Triple J was definitely, when he was scoring, it was not against Zubats, it was against him. Yeah, DJ is too versatile. He's not coming off. Yeah, it was Almada who he got into it with. Grizzlies are good, man. This is such a good win for the Clippers, guys. The Grizzlies had lost 3 times at home. That's it. What a victory. They are deep. They're missing Marcus Smart. Oh, well, they have plenty of guys and good defenders. Wells out there, who James hit. Did James hit that tough step back on him or draw? He got Wells to a fall for fouling on a three-pointer. The 25th time so far this season, James Harden has gotten fouled on a three. He's good. The kid out of Washington State. Kennard not taking shots. Yeah, I hate seeing that. I love Lukey Dookie. But that was the knock on him. I get Sexton is young. I just know if you use the first round pick on him, that's it. They have no more future picks. I mean, they do, but that's the last one they can trade right now. Didn't mean to scare you too much. Can this traffic let up, please, God? Oh, appreciate you guys keeping me company. I could use a gas station. Or a water bottle. No, I'm not doing that again. I'm not. So I can see the logic of, well, Sexton is a piece for the future too. I can. Just know their biggest asset is that first round pick. I don't think it's a player. I think it's the first round pick. Now, if they imploded and the season went sideways and all of a sudden now it's like, well, James is on a 1+1. Maybe we trade Harden. Maybe we trade Norm. Maybe we trade Kawhi. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's different. But right now, realistically, their biggest trade asset is first round pick. It's not Man, but he's a tradable contract. I brought it up. Oh, Wizards GM. You're talking about Michael Winger, former president. Why would he take PJ and Bones for Jonas Valanciunas? You guys never think of trades from the other team's perspective. Jay, I love you, but that's crazy. Why would they do that? You have to think about, live in their shoes for a second and go, why would they want to do this trade? What do they benefit from? When all the other teams know Jonas Valanciunas is a good player and be a very serviceable backup, how could they not get more than just PJ and Bones for him? Teams know he's available. I think they can drive up the price and get more than that, guys. Come on. I need productive solutions. I need actual realistic solutions. That doesn't move me. That doesn't move the conversation forward. Colin Sexton, that's interesting to me. That's gettable. It might take the first. It might take Man. I don't know. I feel like this Bang energy drink is not. I hope this is just heartburn. I'm going to stop drinking this now. Maybe I've had too much caffeine today. About to pass that IKEA on the 5. Just stop with the crazy trades, please. I'm going to have a heart attack. The Grizzlies, they're 12-3 the last 15 games heading into tonight. They're good. Okay, somebody's got a joke. Plumpy talking about Mo Bamba here. It's kind of funny. I'm with you on most improved player. I'm with you on all-star for Norm. And at the very least, he better be in the damn three-point contest this time with him shooting 48% from 3. How do you not get Norm in the three-point contest last season? Ridiculous. Seriously. How many casuals does it take to squirt a light bulb? I don't even know what I'm saying. To have a light bulb go on and realize that Norm is lighting it up. And yeah. Word salad. I'm telling you, if Norm does not get an invite, if he's not an all-star, I could see that happening. It's so competitive. If he's not in the three-point contest for the second straight year, when he's one of the best three-point shooters on high volume, get the fuck out of here. Seriously. Like, NBA, please. I know guys will not do the dunk contest that are the best dunkers because they have something to lose. Three-point contest doesn't have that same energy. The best guys typically are in it. So put Norman Powell in it. Please. The bow-legged sniper or whatever you guys call him on Clippers Reddit. I swear to God, if they don't have him in the three-point contest, I'm going to lose it. A lot of guys can make an argument for the All-Star game. You cannot have that omission with Norm not making the three-point contest. If he turns it down, that's one thing. I don't think he's going to, because he wasn't happy last year not getting in either. That was garbage. And I won't stand for it. I will stand, STAN, for Norman Powell. This is why I'm telling you guys, it's not a coincidence why he's been doing some podcasts lately. Shit, I should try to get him on after a rant like this. He's trying to get more notoriety, get his name out there, get more brand recognition so the NBA doesn't screw it up again with him not getting in something like a three-point contest when he's one of the best three-point shooters. Please understand who the best players are in your game and what they are best at. That is like the bare minimum they could do. I love the NBA, but sometimes they be fumbling. When it comes to the Clippers, that'd be a massive oversight not to have Norman Powell in the three-point contest. Should I be dropping F-bombs at 11:30 at night, the drive that I have? You're damn right I should be. F and A, F and A. I won't tolerate it. I'm telling you. I won't. Promote the guys who are playing well. I don't care if they don't have a big name. They don't have a big name because you aren't promoting them. If they're playing well enough, promote them. Everyone will want to watch Norman Powell if you promote him. If you get to watch his game. Show off the underrated guys, the overlooked guys. Please. Make fans of these guys. Make the casuals. I don't care if you got to Clockwork Orange them and hold their eyelids open. You be watching Norman Powell, what he's doing. I'm losing it. Gotta make sure I'm still going the right way. Seems important. I'm sorry, chat. Sorry for the language. I've been in traffic for freaking 2 hours here. Whose idea was it to drive this late at night on Christmas Eve? Guess it was mine. Jay's building a bike. He's staying up. Who's staying up with me? This is part 2. We had another half-hour video earlier. People are asking who I'd like from Sacramento. What's the guy's name? Is it Keon Ellis? Alex Len. There's your backup big. Yeah, it was Wells who got a step-back jumper in his face from James Harden. All right. Hold on, chat. I got to check something. If for some reason you can't see, I got to check my Android Auto and make sure I'm going the right way. To grandmother's house we go. Come on, Android Auto. There's another way to do this, isn't there, Adam? Bear with me. make me late, I'm going to be upset. Sorry if I made anyone hurl there because I was twisting the camera around, but I need to see my directions. My maps. Clippers certainly were able to find their way to the bucket tonight. You know what I'm saying? Beating Memphis at their own game. So there's all this road construction going on. It's like, why do we got to do this right now? Why doesn't the world revolve around me and everybody else trying to get home for Christmas? It's because of the lane closure that's going on has led to this bottlenecking in traffic. Me having to go to the bathroom for the last hour and a half and not getting to go yet. I'm not going to resort to any Neanderthal primal bathroom practices here. I'm not doing that. Well, I've done that once on Clippers Talk. One time, all right? One time. Never again. All right. Let me see where I'm going here. It's no different than a phone call. I don't want to hear this garbage. This is unsafe or something. What's the difference? It's the exact same thing, talking to you guys. And it's keeping my brain stimulated. I really love what the Clippers are able to do with that third quarter. Down 10. Can somebody put together that 17-5 run and who was most responsible for that 17-5 run? What were the keys plays during that 17-5 run? I know they were getting a ton of stops. Like, the defense was lights out. Lights out, baby! Okay, I used my hands there. You guys know what I'm talking about in that third quarter? Because that's kind of the game. They don't make that push there. They're not in a position where – are they up by one heading into the fourth, I think? 91-90, I want to say. If my memory is correct. What say you, chat? Oh, now we're actually going here. Now we're moving. We can go the speed limit again. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Got to get to it there. 2020 against that front line. How many Zoo haters were saying going into this game, what does it matter if Zoo plays? Just going to drop the basketball a bunch, get out rebounded by Triple J and Zach Edey. Zach Edey goes 1 for 8. What Triple J have like 24 points on 26 shots? He had like 8 shots. Edey looked downright scared of Zoo. Triple J was just outmatched. Zoo destroyed him. A defensive player of the year winner in his prime. How good is Big Zoo? He's going to make believers out of the haters eventually here. It will happen. It will. Chat, you still with me? You had some steals during that stretch? I'm sure Chris Dunn. How many steals did Chris Dunn end up with? Because the Clippers, didn't they have their, or tie the most steals they had in the first half this season? The only thing they were really doing wrong in that first half was those extra opportunities, those extra possessions off of offensive rebounds for Memphis. They were killing them. They had 14 second chance points at the half. Clippers average giving up 11, but they gave up 27 to Dallas last game total. And I thought with 14 at the half, Was it going to end up even worse when it came to second chance points for Memphis tonight? No, I think they ended up with like 22. So, what, did they have 8 the rest of the way? I'm fine with that. Good with that. And the Clippers started to match them with the offensive rebounding numbers. A lot of that Zoo. I know a lot of you guys are like infatuated with the fact that Zoo had 9 offensive rebounds. I would like to point out, I'm not hating. You know I love Big Zoo. I would like to point out that like 5 of those are because they were off his own misses. As he's battling there, multiple guys, it's not easy. So even though he didn't go like 12 of 14 or something like that, I don't care. Because eventually some of those misses turned into makes through getting his own misses back and getting the bucket eventually. He was in a war. He won the battles and the war. I really thought there was a chance. What did the Clippers get up by in the fourth? Did they ever lead by double digits, or was it 8 or 6? What was the most points they scored, or what was the biggest cushion they had in the fourth quarter, the Clippers? Do you guys know? Or Ja was a minus 11 before he came back in the fourth quarter. It was interesting. Taylor Jenkins was going with everybody but Ja because he was the only starter that was a minus out there. The Clippers did that. Their defense does that. Their defense is such a culture shock with their point of attack defenders that I just don't think teams can adjust to it. Now, in a 7-game series, everybody's playing harder. It could be different. But in the regular season, you go from seeing Atlanta to a team like the Clippers, and Atlanta actually does have some better defenders now. But Clippers' point of attack is on point. They're just so relentless with their defensive pressure, their ball pressure, getting into defenders, closing the airspace. There's nothing like it. God, I love watching a team like that. It's so fun, guys. Chris Dunn, just watch him off ball. I heard Chuck talk about post game how he thinks he'll be second team all defense, but the problem is you have to play so many games where you played at least 25 minutes to qualify for an all defensive team. I don't know if Chris Dunn is going to get there. He might, but that is part of this. But it doesn't matter. Like, his estimated plus minus on the defensive end is the highest in the league. And I don't need to know that. I've seen enough tape. I mean, it's good to know that. But to say, I think he's the best perimeter defender the Clippers have ever had. Now, Kawhi at his very best might be better. But when it comes to consistently playing that hard, it's Chris Dunn. I think he's better than Pat Bev in that way. Pat Bev is great. Pat Bev will gamble more. Every time Chris Dunn gambles, is it a gamble? He always guesses right where the pass is going. His free safety work is Ed Reed-esque, Troy Polamalu. Sometimes he hits like the late great Sean Taylor. I told you this summer, like, that's my new favorite Clipper. Chris Dunn. He is performing at such a high level. Like, his scoring, his offense is a bonus. Now, when he's missing those threes that are wide open in the far side corner, does he need more of those to drop consistently late in the ball game? Yes. Because if they play off of him that much and double James Harden, He's got to make them pay. He's got to make them think about it. And I think his three-point shooting is down to like 31% on the season. He's better than that. He started off the first 10 games, he was at 45% from three. Okay, he's worse than that. He can be around 35% from three. That's all I need. That's all I need from him. Just be a bit of a threat, please. Hit a couple of those. That will change the dimensions of the floor for creating space for the Clippers. That's what they need. Because you need his defense late in games. And I think, without a doubt, it's obvious. Look at the plus minus, by far the best on the team. Without a doubt, no matter what he does offensively, his defense is so good, he's always a plus. But there are going to be situations where teams are going to shrink the floor on the Clippers because they're not going to guard Chris Dunn. Like we saw it with Alperen Sengun in Houston. They put him on him. They'd give him the rush treatment. And now the Clippers are playing 4-on-5 on offense. He's got to hit some of those shots. I think he will. He's taking them at least. Like, he knows this. He's aware. He's been in a funk. He did go, I think, 3 of 6 Saturday. 3, did he? And he hit at least one tonight. But those two in the far side corner, I think both were in the far side corner, late in the fourth quarter. That's just, teams are going to scheme that way, and he's got to knock them down. He does move people. His help defense is so good. Like, he knows exactly when he can get away with helping and cheating off of his man. It's so special and unique. It is some real sixth sense basketball stuff. He has, it's a different tool that he has that other people don't. It's a different instinct that he has that other people don't. It's really unique. Probably got another, I don't know. You guys still hearing me okay? Still awake. I'm on a drive. So, yeah, I hope I'm still awake. I'm good. You guys are keeping me awake. This is really helpful. I'm road tripping with some allies. That's a good song on Californication. Chili Peppers have fallen off dramatically, but I still think Californication, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, One Hot Minute. There's stuff on By the Way that's pretty good. Stadium Arcadium. From then on, I don't know. I haven't listened to much of anything. It's pretty bad. But, you know, let them do their thing. Someone said Kawhi and Dunn roaming on D is scary. That's what Chris Dunn said in practice the other day. You're quoting him, no? How they looked. God, I can't wait to see it. They legit might have. Well, Boston's pretty damn good with Drew Holiday and Derek White and Tatum and Jaylen Brown and whoever else they got with them, Chris Stapps, Al Horford. They might be better than Boston defensively on the perimeter. Like, their overall modern defensive capabilities and potential might be higher than the Boston Celtics on that end with Kawhi back. But the difference is the Boston Celtics have more of those guys who are two-way players. Derek White can hit threes. Drew Holiday can hit threes, can do a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm guessing I'm passing by a ranch. Whew, that is overwhelming. I should have not been using the air from the outside. My mistake. That'll keep you awake too. That's worse than a smelling salt. That's what separates Boston. They have a bunch of guys who just don't have any flaws or weaknesses. Because unlike DJ and Chris Dunn, who don't have a long track record of being great three-point shooters or knockdown guys, Boston has the guys that can do that. Oh, Jay, my guy. Thank you. You all helped me. I appreciate it. Love you all. This is my favorite middle of the night road trip I've had. It's typically I'm just talking to myself. Now that I can do this, much better. Keeps the mind sharp. So I still got miles to go. Can the Clippers be so great on that end that it creates easier offense through turnovers, getting in transition, missed shots, not letting the other team's defense get set? Like the Clippers tonight were pushing the pace against Memphis, so they couldn't set their defense. Remember, they have the fourth best defense. The Clippers sixth. Memphis is the only team in the NBA that's top 5 in offensive rating and defensive rating. And the Clippers just beat that team in Memphis. Incredible. And beat them playing. What is this Chameleon Clippers basketball that I'm seeing? They're adapting and molding themselves into a different team. They're like Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 2, where you can, I guess in 1 you play against him and he changes into different types of characters. Mortal Kombat 2 you can play as him and change into whoever you want. That's one of the biggest things tonight, guys. That's the revelation. The Clippers were able to play fast and play well and beat a team that is playing at the fastest pace this season. They should be much more comfortable at that pace. Instead, it was the Clippers. That's what I loved, and it's because of their defense. Creating opportunities like that and getting back in transition. Outscoring Memphis in fast break points is not nothing at all. That is a big part of what has me excited after a game like this. And they do so while utilizing Ivica Zubac, their biggest, slowest, but Zoo was zipping up and down the floor. Zoo is a solid athlete. People don't give him enough credit for his athleticism, dunking on Triple J, beating his man down the floor, playing 40 minutes. The cardio's there. I'm probably going to have to hear about it from Will Updike, because I had my questions about his cardio coming into the season. I think they were valid. Coach Lou, even a couple times this year, has mentioned when he thought Zoo was tired in games. Not tonight. Not with the bruised calf. Who was caffeinated. That was dumb. Instant regret. Espresso regret. I just knew that made him focus more. And what an inspiration he was to the rest of the team. I'm telling you, Big Zoo setting the tone and playing that hard. When Nico Batum came on postgame, listen to the postgame show we did in the live section here with Carlo Jimenez. He's talking with Nico Batum postgame. Nico told Big Zoo earlier today, no, sit this one out. He knew he was hurt. Zoo had to go through a ton of treatment. So his teammates rally around the fact that Big Zoo was playing that hard out there, playing hurt, gutting it out. That lifts up everybody else. You got to play hard. If you know your teammates playing injured, playing hurt. A gas station. Y'all gonna hang with me? I'm gonna go into the gas station. I'll leave my phone on. I'll walk out and come back, and we'll continue the trip. And maybe I'll check out some of your messages because I'm not reading them while I'm driving. Earlier, I was in gridlock. That's different. I was going through the Clippers defense. I was going nowhere. Oh, Chevron to the rescue. Hey, I'll get some gas. I don't want to stop again after this. Gas has been cheaper lately. Oh. Zubats had plenty left in the tank. 40 minutes? 40. Against Edie? Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, Edie looks small next to Big Zoo. Technically, he's not. But Big Zoo made him look small. Made him look soft. Take that, Zoo haters. You could just tell. He was so locked in. And he got rewarded. Finally. Get him the damn ball. I was so upset about that third quarter the other night, Saturday night, against Dallas. He has a 7-0 run. He beats his man down the floor, and instead of going to him for an easy dunk, they take a tough three when they weren't hitting. And he has been holding his pee and I'll be right back.
locked you in the car and I didn't even roll down the window for you. You guys ever enter one of those public restrooms that's so dirty you don't even want to wash your hands because you don't want to touch anything? This was one of those. No Grizzly fan better do that to me. I see you, plain man. I called for a double dose of Purell. I need to Purell the Purell. How we doing, chat? Not too bad, I hope. Speaking of the enemy. Oh. On the road again. All right. Appreciate you guys hanging. I gotta get back on 5 North. And back to talking about the greatness of Ivica Zubac. Oh, the haters. Learn ball. Merry Christmas Eve, y'all. It's official. Good Lord. Bright. The lights were too bright for Memphis and front court. Can you guys still hear me okay? Let me know if you're still with me. Hit the gas a little too hard, getting back onto the freeway. That's one of those times where it's okay to speed for a second, right? You guys still hear me okay? Can the casuals hear me? Probably not. You got me? Thank you. I kind of like some of those weird questions I was getting earlier about the Transformers and stuff. You know what one of the best Christmas movies is? Somebody asked me that question earlier. And you know what Kawhi's favorite Christmas movie is? Friday After Next. Friday After Next is a great Christmas movie. With my guy Cat Williams, probably my favorite comedian. Terry Crews, a worthy replacement for Debo. A nice twist on the big bully. That's a fantastic Christmas movie. There's going to be ball juice everywhere. Back up. What was Cat Williams' name in that? Money Mike? Pimpin'. I love Cat. I think it was a stand-up. Was it Cat Apocalypse a few years back? That was one of my favorites. He was good in Atlanta. Was that season 2? Why would they trade Olynyk? Olynyk is actually good at basketball. Why are they just giving him up for nothing? I gotta be honest, I don't know how much he's played so far this season, but still, last time I checked, it was good. Why would they do that? Why can't you guys understand that there is another team that is trying to win the trade? They're PJ, they're Linux. He was on that Shannon Sharp show. I don't know, maybe there's something to some of the things that he was saying. I don't know. Doesn't seem as wild now. He did talk about Terry Crews and that. Cat's funny because he's funny. He also can be funny like unintentionally too, just because his mannerisms and delivery, like, plus he's just a great comedian. But it seems like he's gotten over it. He was having some issues for a while. Was he fighting like a 14-year-old one time or something? Wrestling? What the hell that was about? No Bamba. I don't know. The best solution for not having a good backup center is by having a good starting center, which the Clippers do have. Not that many teams have a good backup. A reliable, serviceable backup. You can count on one hand. Memphis is one. Some people say Houston, I guess, because Steven Adams has been solid so far, or at least his plus-minus stuff looks good. I know he's not the same player, but maybe he is still serviceable. Better than Bamba. How's Mason Plumlee doing with his rim protection so far this season? Because that's the guy I'm comparing Mo Bamba to. I said be better than Mason Plumlee was last year. I guess this year too. Is Ty still available? Roko's still available. Play him at the 5? No, I don't know. He won't get a. Mo got credited with 3 blocks. That's kind of surprising. I can remember one. Zoo had a ridiculous defensive play in the first half on John Morant going to the basket, thinking he was slick, where he blocked it and got the rebound, the Bill Russell. Love seeing that. Mo has potential to be better than this because we've seen him be better than this as a Clipper. But he has a reputation of high variance up and down play, and it's really just due to motor. Lack of drive, lack of activity. Like, he's skilled enough to show you flashes of what he could be, but he's just not as focused all the time. What is it with him? That's what I see, and that's what I heard. People in Philly, from the Lakers, like everybody where he's been. Orlando. Am I missing one? All-Star game, go back to East versus West. Players wearing their team jerseys. Well, a lot of people like that because when they wore, I think they only did it 1 or 2 times where everybody wore their jerseys and you wore your whites. You know, if you're one team or you wore your dark jersey or whatever your color was for your team on the other side. That was, I think one of the best All-Star games ever where the East came back down 20 and maybe Iverson got the All-Star MVP. Highly competitive. West was up big early. West was considered the much better league. It was. And the East had a crazy comeback on them. And those jerseys were worn. Oh, but they were also worn in 98 in Kobe's first All-Star game. Against MJ, everybody was wearing their own jerseys. Yeah. So there's at least 2 games there where it happened. Does anybody know how many years straight everybody just wore their own jerseys? What I want is that sideline camera, that courtside cam that was on, was that a track that was going by? I think that was in 2001, that All-Star game. That might have been the 20-point comeback. That was a great view. You could really see the speed and athleticism. Need more of that. But it's not just his three-point shooting, guys. Like, three-point shooting with Bamba, honestly, it's on such low volume typically. It's not that important. It'd be nice, but it's not that important. What's important is getting the easy ones to go and being a rim runner like he was. The first game he played with the Clippers, he looked awesome. And being a rim protector. Those are the 2 things you should be doing first before three-point shooting. That is not what is going to make or break whether or not Mo Bamba is a good Clipper at three-point shooting. It's not. I'm sorry. I can't believe there's still at least 40 people in here or something. Yes, individual plus minus for one game doesn't matter as much. But sometimes it does match. Like, I felt like KPJ's 19 points Saturday night where he was a minus 16 out there. To me, it matched. I didn't think he was good enough in every other area, and he wasn't making guys around him better. And I felt like there was a reason they lost the minutes of a guy who had 19 out there, the highest score off the bench. I felt like it matched what I saw. It's not always like that, though. It's typically not. Plus minus is dependent. It's you're looking at a individual stat in a team game, and you're trying to say, oh, this guy did this well because he was plus this, or he was this bad because he was minus this, when it's all affected by what's happening around him. Does he have a role in that? Of course. But if your teammate is getting cooked and you happen to be on the floor during that time and it tanks your plus minus, does that mean you were bad out there? No. Or if your teammate cooks and goes on a heater and your plus minus is plus 15 in 8 minutes because somebody else caught fire, did you have something to do with that? Not necessarily. But over a big enough sample size, there is typically something to it. Over a season, over a half a season, we're almost 40% of the season in. It is not nothing. It's not everything, but it's not nothing at all. There is a reason Chris Dunn is the best plus minus on the team. There's a reason Batum has a great plus minus always. All right, guys. I think I'm going to head out. I appreciate you all. I'm going to listen to some podcasts, get through the rest of this road trip. But you guys have helped me greatly. You've been good company. Appreciate you, Clipper Nation. Clippers win tonight, get their best victory, 114-110 over the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. Props to Big Zoo. They're struggling on offense. They're individual greatness. Often how games end up and how playoff games especially end up. So It's good to have one of the best ISO players in the league, guys. The best ISO player in the league last season, though, is still missing. That would be Kawhi Leonard. He was getting 1.2 points per possession in isolation last year. That was best in the league. We know he's not back on Friday. That's okay. Get more 5-on-5s in. Stack more good days together. We want him back healthy. We want him back and staying on the court. And the Clippers are 4 games above 500 without Kawhi. 17-13. Unbelievable. I'm Adam Osland. You've been listening to a Clippers Talk Live on the 5 Freeway. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Wait, how do I